Welcome back to the channel for all things fermented, brewed, and distilled. This is part 4 of my gin distilling adventures in India. So let's go. As you saw in my previous video, I was working to perfect gin number 3 and gin number 7 for the Boudh Distillery in Bhubaneswar, India. And we were getting closer and closer to getting a final recipe. Having my 2 assistants, Shailendra and Prem there, really made the process go very quickly and efficiently. We were getting a lot of distillations done every single day. As a team, it was like Shailendra was the dad. He kept us focused and on task. And then Prem was a bit of a prankster. But it was really nice working with them. And we did a lot. Each day was extremely productive. We would do several gin distillations. And after several distillations, we decided to standardize the procedure by saying that we would macerate all the botanicals first, and then we would distill them for all of the recipes. Gin number 3, we decided it would have that really nice butterfly pea flower to give it that nice color changing effect from dark indigo purple to a light violet pink color. That's a really nice gin. It has jasmine flowers in it, juniper berries, coriander seeds, a bit of the gondorage, lemon peel in it. So I was a fan of that one. So gin number 3 had a more flowery, perfumey profile to it, and it would have the color changing effect, whereas gin number 7 would be just clear in color. We weren't going to add any colorants to it, and it was going to be a traditional London dry gin, citrus and juniper berry forward, but the twist with it would be it has the gondorage lemon peel as well, which just gives it this exotic, special fragrance to it. And I was told that that region of India produces a lot of mangoes, and they have many, many varieties of mangoes. So I really wanted to showcase the gondorage lemon and mangoes in my gin recipes. Our 2 gins were coming along. I was really just tweaking ingredients here and there, playing with the amounts of each ingredient to see if that would make a big difference. And then we just kept having blind taste tests where I'd ask them, oh, which one of these, the set of gin 3s is your favorite? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? And I do the same thing with a different set of gin 7s that they would blind taste test and give scores for. And we just kept doing that over and over again until we got closer to our final 2 recipes for gin number 3 and gin number 7. But everything went very quickly because I had Shailendra and Prem helping me with the distillations. And since we had so much free time, they said to me, like, why don't you make other things? Like, you can try making vodkas, you can try making whiskeys, anything you want to do. They really encouraged me to just play around with all the ingredients that they had purchased for our experiments. So that's exactly what I did, and it's very fun to be able to just make things off the fly and get paid for it. So that was amazing. We had a lot of gondorage lemons, so I decided to make a limoncello. I really do love gondorage lemons. They have an amazing aroma, flavor to them. They're just chef's kiss. And if you've been following this channel, you know that I was tasked with developing a limoncello recipe at the Shakespeare Distillery. So I've had some experience crafting liqueurs, and I decided, oh, I'll just make a gondorage limoncello and we'll see what it tastes like. And it tasted nice. The trouble was, in a normal limoncello, you get like a gorgeous yellow color when you make the limoncello. And this one, it was very muted. The color was dull. The smell was still very nice from it for the first couple of days. But after a few days, we noticed that the scent of the Gondorage lemon peel really faded fairly quickly from the limoncello. I also made an orange cello, and the color that came out of that was stunning, and it was so beautiful to look at. It had a big punchy orange flavor. I loved making that one. I was actually surprised by how nice it turned out, but that one was great. The color was very stable as well and intense. I tried to make a cherry rose liqueur, and they told me that they don't really produce cherries in India, so they had to buy a bag of dried cherries from the United States. And I tried distilling them. Absolutely no cherry flavor came out. And then I tried to make a cherry liqueur by simmering the cherries and the dried rose petals to make a liqueur. We added alcohol, water, sugar to it, and again, there was just no cherry or rose flavor in any of the products where we used those two things, which was really a shame. And I think that cherries just don't distill well, and probably it's not the right place to produce a cherry flavored product, since it's not native to India. And that's why I really like to work with ingredients or botanicals that are native to that place, because then that makes the product special. It has a better story to it, and those ingredients will be fresher and will get better flavors in the final product. So that was a lesson there. I also wanted to do something with almonds, since I love roasted almonds. I had Prem roast some almonds up for me. I mashed them, and then I steeped them in some ENA, or extra neutral alcohol, also called neutral grain spirit. And I put a bunch of other botanicals in there, brown sugar, jaggery. I made a roasted almond liqueur at the Shakespeare Distillery, so if you want to learn more about how that went specifically, I'll link the video above. The most fun I had was making ouzo. We were looking at all the spices we had in the room, and Shailendra was telling me how in India a lot of people will eat fennel seeds that are coated in sugar after meals, kind of like a nice palate cleanser after the meal. And I said, oh, I bet you would love ouzo. And everyone looked at me and they said, what's ouzo? What's ouzo? What's this thing, ouzo? And I said, you know what, I'll just make it for you, but I'm sure you'll love it since you say that you eat it after every meal. And this is kind of like the liquid form of fennel seeds. So yes, I got to work making ouzo, and actually I've never made ouzo or tried to make ouzo before, and it was a first for me. I looked online at what ingredients are in an ouzo, and it said anise seeds, and I looked at images of it online, and fennel seeds and anise seeds look extremely similar, so I wasn't sure if they were just the same thing. So I asked them to go get me fennel seeds and anise seeds. And of course I don't know the word for it in Hindi, so I put it in Google Translator. And the funny thing is, when you put fennel seed in and you put anise seed in, it's the same word in Hindi. So in summary, I just wasn't sure if we made the ouzo correctly, because we definitely had the fennel seed, but I think we might have been missing the anise seed. So I just Googled recipes online and just kind of researched what is generally in an ouzo, and I crafted a recipe with fennel seeds and star anise, cinnamon bark, cloves. I think I put mace in there. I macerated all the spices together in alcohol. I told Shailendra to distill it as slowly as possible so we could get as much of those flavors in the ouzo as possible. The first ouzo I made, it was pretty nice, but the problem was it didn't loosh. So looshing is when you add water to it and then it turns cloudy, which ouzo always does. And that's a sign of how much oil is inside of it, how much flavor is inside of it. So the first one, I added the water to, it didn't loosh. It was a bit of a disappointment. So I went back, adjusted the recipe, and I got a little bit of a loosh in the second ouzo. And the third ouzo I made, actually someone just brought in a huge box of dried spices and other botanicals, and they said, okay, I want you to put all the botanicals that are in this box in a recipe. It doesn't matter what recipe, but just put everything that's in this box in a single recipe. So I was told to do that, and I decided to incorporate that whole box of botanicals into an ouzo recipe. So it had a whole bunch of random stuff in it, like caraway seeds, mace, bay leaves. I don't know, there were 20 or more different botanicals in there. And so I made a big recipe for the ouzo, and I just kept increasing the amount of fennel seed because fennel seed has a lot of oil in that. So I was thinking if I put more fennel seed in, then I'm increasing the potential for looshing. Final ouzo I made, it was very good. It did have a nice strong loosh that I was looking for, so I was satisfied with that. And I was right, everyone loved the ouzo. Of course they did, because they love eating fennel seeds after their meals. Looking back, I'm very surprised that India doesn't already have a fennel seed flavored liqueur market, because it seems like drinks like ouzo or raki or sambuca would do really well there. So I think that ouzos would do very well there, or any anise-based spirit would do really well there. And everyone that tried the ouzo that I made really liked it. It's just they couldn't understand what it was. And my boss kept saying, like, I like it, but I just don't know how to market it. How would I sell it? And I just kept saying, oh, it's an anise-based spirit. That's a kind of category on its own. A lot of Mediterranean countries in Europe, they have their own version of ouzo. Like I said, raki, sambuca, absinthe. After doing some more research, I can definitively say that aniseed and fennel seed are two different plants. And for ouzo, the main flavoring ingredient needs to be aniseed. Since we just had the fennel seeds and that was the main flavoring ingredient, what we were actually making was fennel liqueur. So those were just some of the many experiments that I did while I was working there. We probably made close to 80 different distillates while I was there, from the liqueurs to the ouzo to the gins to the limoncellos and all the things. I hope you enjoyed watching part 4 of my adventures distilling things in India. Stay tuned for the next and final part. In the meantime, you can support this channel by liking this video, leaving a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps the channel. Okay, this is Bluebird, sending good vibes your way. I'll see you next time.